Welcome back to the Monday Morning Show. I'm Ken LaSalle. On Saturday night, December 19th, ABC News held what was probably the dumbest Democratic debate this year. It was so dumb it could have been a Republican debate. It wouldn't have surprised me if the moderators came straight over from some other Republican debate in a bar somewhere. They were idiots. And I want to get their names right. First was David Muir, who was hesitant to offend anyone. And then Martha Raddatz, who was so stupid Republicans had been feasting on her brains for weeks, and they were still hungry. In a Republican debate, it's easy to hate the candidates, but Raddatz was such a hateful troll with questions provided by the NRA and her local Tea Party cookout. Just seeing her on my screen made me want to smash my TV. For some reason, ABC wanted moderators who would piss people off. And so, there we were. The candidates? Well, of course we have the presumptive Hillary, first female president, you know you want it, Clinton. I am not a Clinton supporter for a variety of reasons. She's too hawkish, too far to the right, too willing to suck up to corporations. She's just not presidential material in my book. Was she a great Secretary of State? Did she represent her state well in Congress? Sure, I'm not questioning that. But she's so damned I'm next, it's irritating. Do I think she'll be elected? Probably. Next, Martin, I've already done all these things, O'Malley. Fix the economy? He's done that. Fix schools? He's done that too. Any problem you can think of, this man has fixed. But nobody, is listening. My wife Vicky thinks he's getting ready for the 2020 or 2024 election, and she might be right. Finally, there's my guy, Bernie Sanders. He's got the attitude of a guy from Brooklyn, the politics of a guy from Vermont, and the guts of a socialist, which gotta be pretty tough. How many socialists do you know who are as out there as Bernie Sanders? Nobody, that's who. This guy terrifies corporations, which is why he doesn't bother sucking up. He's proud of how much pain he's going to deliver, and it's about time corporations felt a little bit of regulatory pain and suffering after the way they've been allowed to screw our planet, screw our country, screw our economy, screw us. Now, Sanders is not a foreign policy guy. There's no hiding that. So you have to ask yourself, what is the biggest threat? Are you more afraid of ISIS with their 35,000 guys in trucks with rifles? Or corporations who are making the planet uninhabitable? Now, I know that's a pretty big claim, but just look at the climate agreement just signed in Paris. They were going for an agreement that would make life better until the corporate machine came in and said, listen, this planet won't be uninhabitable until 2 more degrees of global warming, so hey, why not cut it off there? That's right. The agreement everybody is cheering about stops global warming at the point where the planet will be uninhabitable. And nobody seems to have a problem with this. Listen, I don't have kids, so I don't have to worry. I'll be dead before the planet is uninhabitable. But if you love your kids, this may be something worth worrying about more than just a few idiots with guns in the desert, you know? Anyway, back to the debate. First, the rules. Now, I don't know why they bother to go on and on about the rules when clearly nobody is following them anyway. I think we can all agree on that. Once the debate begins, the rules are out. Hell, the rules are out long before the debate even begins, because they're not really debates. These are just press conferences with 3 people providing 3 points of view. Well, 2 points of view, except when Martin O'Malley can get a word in. Poor Martin O'Malley. There's nothing at all wrong with him except that he's not Hillary Clinton or Bernie Sanders. The first thing they had to discuss was the recent flap about data theft. You know it's petty because deep down you know we're all supposed to be on the same side. I mean, even if we can't admit that people on the other side of the world are our brothers and sisters, surely we can see that people who want to lead us should not act like children. And we expect children to get along. So how about the adults, right? Then we get to the questions, and this is what I'd like to focus on because the questions were unimaginably stupid, uninspired, basically worthless, okay? Maybe somebody will get the idea that the moderators should be of a higher quality than Raddatz, her checks from the NRA, the Tea Party, and hell, maybe even the Republican Party. So they start by asking about the San Bernardino shooting. But the way they choose to phrase this, about a tragedy involving people being shot, is to suggest that more people should have had guns. Kind of like, if everyone can't be safe, why shouldn't everyone have guns to kill each other with? This is the level of discourse in this country about guns. It's absolutely absurd. Next question. Don't we need more guns? People in our poll want more guns. Why do you hate the American people so much that you don't want them killing each other? After the spittle was wiped away, the next question. Well, if you can't ban all guns, why ban any guns? Are you going to ban all guns? Are you going to go to war against the American people? Maybe you can see why I think someone got a check signed by Wayne LaPierre. Next question. Shouldn't we fear all immigrants, especially those who dress differently from us? This was followed by, well, we can't ban all immigrants, so isn't doing anything impossible? And if you do anything, isn't that the same as racial profiling? I guess Raddatz was hoping for checks from scared people too, because this fear-mongering didn't stop there. Oh no. Next question. Doesn't privacy help terrorists? Isn't anyone who wants privacy a terrorist? This was followed by, the governor of New Hampshire doesn't want any refugees. Aren't you calling her stupid when you say we should allow immigration? The next question just basically turned into babbling about how we should start another war. This was followed by, you're going to bomb people anyway, why not start another war? And the next question was, who should our next war be with, Assad or ISIS? Now, if you're anything like me, you may be sensing an agenda here. I remember a long time ago journalists who could put ideas into context and analyze complex issues beyond the point of drooling over who we should kill next. The first half of this debate was basically fear-mongering and rabble-rousing, and we have more than our share of rabble. For the most part, the candidates did a good job of not calling Raddatz a hateful little stooge for the Republican Party. I don't have that skill. So we take a commercial break, and when we get back, Hillary has disappeared. Because I think she took a pee break, and well, those old bladders just ain't what they used to be. And I'm seeing the first Republican attack ad. A red hotline phone is ringing in the middle of the night, and as the camera pans to the right, showing a dim light behind a half-closed bathroom door, we hear Hillary trying to pee, and a deep manly voice says, "Is this who you really want in the White House?" That's a free one, Republicans. The second half of the debate is basically a rundown of the Republicans' greatest hits. You can't raise incomes unless you cut taxes. You have to save corporations and cut taxes. Obamacare sucks, and you have to cut taxes. Our schools suck. They have to be privatized and cut taxes. Taxes are high. Cut taxes. Granted, taxes weren't all that was discussed. The candidates were asked about how cops are afraid to do their job now that some of them have been caught murdering people. Heroin use is up, and nobody cares. Hillary was outright blamed for everything that has ever gone wrong in Libya because she's like God that way. And then the debate was closed with the softest softball possible about first spouses or spices. And I was left wondering why nobody talked about anything real. It's not like nothing happened last week. As I mentioned, the Paris Climate Change Conference was hijacked by U.S. corporations, leaving us left to, hope that maybe, the next conference will bring actual change. Maybe by then, enough rich people will notice and care. Maybe. There was news close to home as well, as Congress passed another budget that President Obama appears more than willing to sign. What was in this new budget? How about a provision that keeps the IRS away from political donors? Yep, now politicians can be bribed more conveniently. How about a provision that allows companies to bribe elected officials? Yep, and now the SEC doesn't even need to know about it. What else? How about a $1 million tax break for one of Harry Reid's biggest donors? Yep. And this is why I am not a Democrat. Sure, sometimes you have to play by the same rules, but you don't need to cheat by the same rules, Harry. I would like to rely on the Democrats to take the high ground, but you know what? They don't always do that. That's why you need to be an educated voter. Why you need to stay on top of things and not just assume anything. Are the Democrats as corrupt as the Republicans? In most cases, no, they're not. But in this case, well, I'll leave that up to you. What else was in the budget? How about a little thing called the CISA, the Cybersecurity Information Sharing Act? What this is all about is violating more of your liberties, invading your privacy, and helping big corporations make a bundle off of it to boot. Nobody wanted the CISA except the big media corporations and the politicians they bribe. And now, big surprise, they have their way. The budget also includes plenty of measures to uphold big tax breaks for corporations, corruption of our government, and handouts to the banking industry. You know, everything the candidates on last night's debate stage said that they were against. Now listen, I know this debate was supposed to focus on foreign policy, but in the end, the focus was only on war, guns, and taxes. Starting more wars, selling more guns, and handing out more tax breaks to the wealthy. They could have talked about global warming. They could have talked about this horrible budget. But instead, they dealt with the absolute lowest common denominator. The scared American who is terrified he won't be able to kill someone while handing all of his money to corporate interests. You get the government you deserve, people. And after last night's debate, I'm not entirely sure you don't deserve Donald Trump. That's it for today. As always, you can find me on kenlasalle.com. Until next time, be good to yourself, be kind to others, and let's make this world a better place.